So you want to travel and trade. Here I am in beautiful Cambodia overlooking the Mekong River. And some of you guys may be watching this thinking that you want to travel and trade. And I just want to make a video to clarify on what that entails. It really depends also where you're traveling. Depends where you're traveling. If you're traveling Southeast Asia, there's different challenges that you're going to have than if you're traveling Western Europe or Canada or anywhere that's a little bit more developed. But if you want to travel to third world countries, you're definitely going to have some difficulties here and there when it comes to traveling and trading. So first off, when you embark on your journey, on your travels, you have to accept that trading is not going to be the first priority in your life anymore. For the most part, that is going to change, and you will need to accept that. Otherwise, you're going to be very stressed. You're going to be very stressed about missing trades, missing time in the markets. Maybe you have a little bit of a latency, sort of these types of problems that can influence your trading results. You're going to need to be able to detach from that and understand that maybe at this period of your life, trading may not be the number one most important thing in your life, which it may have been previously when you were in your home office, at your house or your apartment, in your comfort zone, and really just focused on trading every single day and having that as your main activity, your main income, or your main job every single day. That's all going to change when you travel. Trading is going to take a back seat, and you're going to need to be able to accept that, because there's other things. You're traveling to new places for one time in your life only. Maybe only once in your life you'll be able to have an opportunity to do things that you may never get again, and that may entail putting trading on the back burner, maybe missing a day or two here and there, maybe missing pre-market, maybe missing after hours, maybe missing midday, maybe only trading for 30 minutes, maybe only trading for an hour. So you're going to be able to need to accept that, and you're definitely going to be missing moves. You're definitely going to be missing moves in the market, but you're gaining a lot more life experience. The life experiences may be more valuable than the money that you can pull out from the markets. Some of these experiences you're only going to have once in your life, and to really be there, really be present, and not let trading influence your mental clarity or your mental and emotional health while you're traveling. That's very important. You don't want trading, the emotions that come with trading, to influence your enjoyment of every day when you're exploring the world. So some problems that you may run into is, obviously, you have the latency. Sometimes you're going to have latency if you're traveling. I hear that in Europe there's a small latency, maybe 100 to 150 milliseconds. But if you're traveling in Asia, you're definitely going to notice a little bit of latency. So be prepared for that. The fields are not going to be as instantaneous as instantaneous means with Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab is not instant at all, even if you're in the US. Even if you're in the US, it's sometimes really slow, but it's going to be even slower when you're in Asia, that's for sure. So be prepared for that. And if you want to go to South America, I think there's maybe a little bit of latency there as well, maybe 150, 200 milliseconds in South America. It depends where you go. I think obviously farther down, like towards Argentina or Chile, you have a little bit more latency. In Asia, the country with the least amount of latency is in Japan. Japan has the least amount of latency. I think it's about 200 milliseconds to get to New York, because there's the fiber optic cable that runs across the Pacific directly connects from Japan to New York. There's just one cable. Whereas when you're traveling in other countries in Asia, China, Southeast Asia, you have to go through so many kind of routes to get to the main Pacific line that goes through New York. So the information's going to run just a little tad slower because it has so many more barriers to go through. So there's a lot more latency in Southeast Asia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, those countries. So For the internet, for the most part, I'm very surprised with the internet. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very surprised here. For the most part, 95% of the places I've been at has fiber internet with well enough megabits per second. Like we're talking 200 or 300, 400, 500, 700 megabits per second internet, fiber, upload and download. So I'm very surprised when it comes to the internet here in Southeast Asia, especially in Thailand. Thailand seems to have some pretty good internet. Cambodia, I mean, about 100 megabits. Right now I'm getting about 100 megabits download and upload for fiber, which is good enough to trade, but it's not as good as Thailand. But it's doable. I could do the job with that. So I'm very surprised with the internet here in Southeast Asia. That's definitely for sure. So for the most part with the internet, so one tip with the internet is if you can, try to go to the property before you book and test the internet speed. I use Ookla or speedtest.net. You can use that website and you can get sort of the latency, the download and the upload speed. I try to do that if I can visit the property beforehand. You can try to contact the company, but if your SIM card, if you can't make calls on your SIM card, then that's going to be a problem with that, unless you want to buy actual minutes on your phone. So that could be a little difficult. You could do email, but it's probably going to be a lot slower. With email, you may not get a response. For the most part, what I do is just check the reviews. Look for people who are saying, oh, good quality internet. Oh, I work remote. This is a good property or a good place to stay if you work remote. And then also, you can check with Airbnb. It's pretty easy. If you do Airbnb, it's pretty easy to message the host. With hostel and hotel, it's a little bit harder. But for the most part, there's only been like a handful of places that had really bad internet. I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 times where the internet was actually unusable, where I just couldn't trade. Like I tried to trade and the whole platform would freeze because the internet was just that bad. That's happened 3 times, I think. 3 times. And I would just, a good tip is to book one night. Book 1 or 2 nights. If you don't know if the internet's good, if you don't know if the place is good, book 1 or 2 nights, test it out. And if the internet's bad, at least you didn't book a whole week, and you gotta try to get your money back or just suffer for a week. Just try it out for a week, and then if you don't like it, move to a different place. And if worse comes to worse, there's Starbucks everywhere. The entire world has Starbucks. Starbucks is everywhere. Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, there's Starbucks everywhere. So you can definitely find a Starbucks to work at if worse comes to worse. Now for trading equipment, the equipment that I brought was, I have my computer, my laptop of course, I have 1 external monitor, I have a mouse. I really like using a mouse. I don't need a keyboard, I don't need an external keyboard, but I need a mouse. A mouse just makes it so much quicker with moving through interfaces and hitting buttons and changing things on the screen. It's a lot faster than using the trackpad. I think a mouse improves your productivity by at least 2 or 3x when it comes to trading. So a mouse, a computer, mouse, laptop, external monitor, and then I have an Ethernet cable just in case if I can get plugged in, if they do have Ethernet ports. At least I do have an Ethernet cable, I think I have the highest one, Cat 6 or Cat 8. I forget. I think it's a Cat 6. I get the best Ethernet cable, the best Ethernet cable. Bring that, because sometimes you will be able to get a hardwired connection, and if you have the cord, then that'll definitely come in handy. So yeah, those are some of the things that you will likely need to be prepared for when you come to travel and trade. For the most part, you'll be giving up a little bit. You'll be giving up a little bit when it comes to trading, maximizing those profits every day, but you're gaining something so much greater. And if you're somebody who is thinking about traveling and trading, maybe you're the type of person that has been called to the adventure of life, to experiencing things that other people may never experience in their entire life. Maybe experiences that'll happen only one time in the time of the universe, and you will be there, the only person to be there to experience that. That's a special thing. That's a special thing. It's a magical moment. and it's great to get out of your comfort zone. So if you're somebody who is called for that adventure, be prepared. Don't let trading hold you back from doing that. You can still trade on the road. Yes, you will give up some profits, some potential profits, but the reward is intangible. It's worth more than money. It's worth more than money. So that's my closing remarks here on this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.